Back. Oh. Back. Right.
Hooray! Right. That. Hooray! Right.
Throughout our nation's history, millions of men and women have earned the title United States Marine. In keeping with the slogan, once a Marine, always a Marine, we would like to recognize them. We ask that those men and women in the audience who have served in the United States Marine Corps, please rise. Please join us in showing our appreciation for their dedicated service to Corps and country. We would also like to give a special recognition to the Yemassee Marines who are with us this morning. Thank you. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, the commanding officer of the 1st Recruit Training Battalion, Lieutenant Colonel Morgan.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lieutenant Colonel Dave Morgan, and I am the commanding officer of 1st Recruit Training Battalion. On behalf of our commanding general, Brigadier General Reynolds, I'd like to welcome you to today's graduation ceremony for Company C and Company N. I'd also like to extend a warm welcome to today's parade viewing officer, Colonel Cedarholm. Welcome, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, today marks the culmination of a journey, and it's a journey that began over 12 weeks ago when these young men and women came and stood on those famous yellow footprints. And ever since then, they've earnestly dedicated themselves to completing our nation's longest and most challenging entry-level training program. And today, I can assure you that those 677 young men and women standing behind me have earned the title United States Marine. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know we have many family members and friends here who've traveled great distances to watch their loved one graduate a proud United States Marine. And I think if you look to your left and you look to your right, you'll see hundreds of other individuals here just like you. But it strikes me that you all have at least one thing in common, and that is simply this. At a time when our nation needed the most, your loved one stepped forward, volunteered, raised their right hand and said, I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Well, my friends, that is a level of commitment and selfless sacrifice that you should be inordinately proud of. And quite frankly, it's one that should be celebrated each and every day across this great nation. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to take an opportunity to thank you for three things briefly. First and foremost, thank you for providing your most cherished asset to your United States Marine Corps. Thank you for the upbringing you provided them, the basic values you taught them, and the patriotism that you instilled in them that provided them the impetus to want to serve our great nation. Secondly, thank you for providing them the support while they were here in recruit training. As most of you know by now, recruit training can be a very challenging and demanding environment, often referred to as 13 weeks of tough love, but I can assure you that your support has been a major factor in their success. And thirdly, I'd like to ask for your continued support as these young men and women continue along the Marine Corps' entry-level training pipeline and ultimately deploy out across the nation and around the globe to protect and defend our nation's vital interests. I can assure you that your continued support will hold them in good stead. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when you get your Marine home, you're going to notice a few changes. They're going to stand a little taller, a little straighter. They're going to be more mature. They're going to be in the best shape of their lives. They're going to be able to devour any amount of food you set in front of them and do that in about 2 minutes. A few moms out there, I want to give you fair warning. That first morning that you get your Marine home and the first thing they do about 5 a.m., without being told, mind you, is jump out of bed, make their bed, and ensure your room is inspection ready for you. I don't want you to be overly alarmed. And one other point you might be interested in, I can assure you that these Marines leave here with a clear understanding of just where their hips are located. But more important than that, they know from now on that those hips are the exact location of where their trousers are supposed to be worn. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to just take a brief moment to recognize some individuals that have played an integral part in that transformation that I just spoke about. First, our Marine recruiters, over 6,000 strong, spread out across the nation and at strategic spots around the globe. These are the unsung heroes of our Marine Corps. They're out in our local communities each and every day representing the Marine Corps and looking for that next young man or woman who has what it takes to become a United States Marine. Our recruiters are the lifeblood of our Corps. They sustain us, and I thank them for their efforts. Next group I'd like to recognize are those Marines wearing the green campaign cover. They are the legendary Marine Corps drill instructors, and you will not find more dedicated a professional group of individuals anywhere in the world. For it was their leadership, commitment, tough love, and personal example that forged these young men and women into United States Marines. And I'd like to ask you to join me this morning in a round of applause in recognition of their superlative efforts. The last group I'd like to recognize are the family members and friends of the officers of Company C and Company N, many who are sitting in a place of honor up on the reviewing stand today. To our family members, I simply say this: your dedication, your support has provided the foundation for the success of these two companies. I thank you for that, and I want you to know that you make a difference every day. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you'll excuse me, I'd like to make my final comments to our nation's newest Marines. Good morning, Marines. Marines, congratulations on completing our nation's longest and most challenging entry-level training program. Your achievements are no small accomplishments, and they are ones that I can assure you will remain with you forever. I'd like for you to think back for a moment when you first started talking to your recruiter about the many benefits of service in the United States Marine Corps. I'm certain that one of the things that he or she promised you was a challenge. Well, I think I can stand up here today and safely say that your drill instructors delivered on that challenge or on that promise and did indeed provide you with a stiff challenge. But make no mistake, Marines, you met each and every one of those challenges, and for that you should be inordinately proud, for you've earned the title United States Marine. Lastly, as you go forward today and leave this legendary island, do so knowing that you now carry the mantle of the United States Marine Corps squarely on your shoulders. And I charge you to strive each and every day to be the embodiment of our core values of honor, courage, and commitment, to remain committed to that cause that is greater than self, and to continue to do the right thing because it's simply the right thing to do. Marines, congratulations once again on a job well done. I wish you continued success, Godspeed, and Semper Fidelis.
Reviewing today's graduation ceremony is Colonel Cederholm. He's being escorted by Colonel Jones, Commanding Officer, Recruit Training Regiment, Marine Corps Recruit Depot, Parris Island, South Carolina.
Staff, attend, hut!
Colonel Cederholm was commissioned a second lieutenant in 1989. Colonel Cederholm's assignments in the operating force include Ground Safety Officer and Schedules Officer, Marine All-Weather Fighter Attack Squadron 242, where he made 2 Western Pacific deployments. Air Officer and S3 Alpha 1st Battalion 1st Marines, Operations Officer and Squadron Officer in Charge, Marine Fighter Attack Squadron 112, Navy and Marine Corps subject matter expert for the threat infrared missiles, and as the adversary program manager at the Navy Fighter Weapons School, Top Gun. While with the Navy Fighter Weapons School, Colonel Cederholm deployed in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. Deputy Chief of Killbox Interdiction Close Air Support at the Coalition Air Operations Center. While with the Coalition Air Operations Center, Colonel Cederholm deployed in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. Colonel Cederholm also authored the Urban Close Air Support concept of operations for Operation Iraqi Freedom. Assistant Operations Officer, Marine Aircraft Group 11, Commanding Officer of VMFA 212. Colonel Cederholm is currently the Commanding Officer of Marine Aircraft Group 31, Marine Corps Air Station, Beaufort. Colonel Cederholm's assignments in the supporting establishment include Officer Career Counselor, Manpower Management Officer assignments, Fixed Wing Major Monitors, Manpower Management Officer assignments, Air Sea Branch Chief in Force Application and as the Executive Assistant to the Deputy Director of Force Application and Support and the Joint Staff J8. Military Assistant to the Assistant Secretary of the Navy for Research, Development, and Acquisition. Colonel Cederholm's personal awards include Legion of Merit, Defense Meritorious Service Medal with 1 Gold Star in lieu of second award, Bronze Star Medal, Air Force Commendation Medal, Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal, and the Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medal with 1 Gold Star in lieu of second award.
Breathe in!